Hey everybody, welcome back around to the Blog and Grill. I'm your host Doug here with your video blog for May 17th, 2013. Knicks last night forcing a Game 6. We'll have a look at MLB, hoping to expand instant replay, and I'll give you the picks for our Game 6 tomorrow night. The All-Star race at Charlotte, and we'll talk a little Preakness too. So stick right here to the Blog and Grill. But first up, the Knicks extending the series last night to a Game 6, which will be played tomorrow night. It's going to be a great one for sure. The Knicks, though, last night winning 85-75. They played well. Carmelo Anthony kicking in 28 points and 6 rebounds. J.R. Smith kind of coming back. He had 13 points, 6 boards, 3 steals, so they played very solid defense, holding them to 75 points. Their highest point total they gave up was 23 points in the third quarter. Tyson Chandler, 8 rebounds, not really offensively minded last night, but the Knicks controlled tempo, stayed ahead most of the game, and took away Roy Hibbert down low. Paul George still had 23 and 6 assists. Roy Hibbert didn't do much. George Hill, of course, is out with the concussion, but the Knicks played well. They moved the ball well, didn't get into so much isolation. Kenyon Martin, Amari Stoudemire got involved as well, and they move on to Game 6, and we'll talk about Game 6 coming up later on in the show. So yesterday, Bud Selig says Major League Baseball is looking to once again expand instant replay. This expansion would go all the way to calls, every call except balls and strikes, because if we start instant replaying balls and strikes, the game will take more than a snail's pace that it goes at this point. My only concerns with this is how long the game's going to go now. I mean, we got games going 3 hours, 15 minutes. Is this going to push games to 3 hours, 45, 4-hour games? That would be normally 3-hour games. You can't be disputing every call. It's going to have to be set up, I think, like the Little League World Series, where you get 1 or 2 challenges a game. A lot like football, too, with the challenges. But what they have to do, they should really take the model of Little League World Series. I've said this for years about instant replay in baseball. The Little League World Series does it right. They have 5 umpires there. 4 of them are on the field, and the 5th one sits right behind home plate with a TV and watches, and will make the call right then. We'll tell them the call. I know it might be hard to get somebody right there, maybe put somebody in a camera well by the dugout, or even have somebody up in the command center, and then just have them call down on the bullpen phone and tell them what the call was. So the crew chief of the umpires would go to the dugout, pick up the bullpen phone, and the 5th umpire in the command center would tell them what the call was, and therefore that would make it a lot easier, make it smoother, really keep baseball moving, and you're going to have to limit the amount of plays that can get reviewed a game for sure. If it's like a tag play or a force play, teams are going to have to challenge. They're going to have to decide if they want it called, and then if you win a challenge maybe in the first 5 innings, you get 1 for the last 4, or you only get 2 for the whole game, or you get 3 for the whole game. It's just going to be a big discussion that they got to go through and figure it out. I think it's all to help the umpires. The umpires need help for sure. And I think the umpires should embrace this, because it's going to make their job easier and help them to be able to focus more on calling the game right, getting the calls right, and not being such personalities in the sport. Instead, they'll just be on the back burner making the right calls. So that's my take on instant replay. Now it's time for a little bit of Take Your Pick, as we have a shorter blog today for sure. Knicks and Pacers tomorrow night in Indiana, Game 6. I think the X factor has to be if George Hill plays. If George Hill plays, I think the Pacers could be in trouble for sure if George Hill doesn't, because George gives him some offense. If Carmelo Anthony, if J.R. Smith can continue to shoot his way out of the slump, the Knicks will get the win, and that's going to be a tough Game 7, which will be Monday night. Tough Game 7 for sure. If the Knicks can force it. I think the Knicks will force a Game 7 back home. They're playing better. They have an edge to their game, and they don't want to lose, because this team feels like this is their time to make a run at the Miami Heat. All-Star race tomorrow night in Charlotte. My winner, I'm picking Dale Jr. I think Dale Jr. will win a race. I think he has to win one of the features to get in. I think he'll win one of those. He'll get into the race, and I think he's going to run well. And so he's my pick to win. Dale Jr. will win the All-Star race tomorrow night. The Preakness Stakes tomorrow, the second leg of the Triple Crown. Orb in at a 1-1 favorite. Rosario is on him. Other big-time horses that are the favorites. Mylou is a 5-1, and Departing is 6-1. My winner in this race will be, I mean, there's a lot of good horses too, so it's really tough to pick. I'm going to have to go with I'm going to go with Departing, the 6-1 favorite with Hernandez, the jockey on him. I'm going Departing, win, Oxbow, show, Orb, place. Or Orb, place, Oxbow, show. Let's go with that. All right, so that's my pick to win the Preakness. All right, so coming up next week in the blog, I'll have a Monday. We'll have the weekend wrap up, and we'll do some more NBA playoffs as we get ready for the conference finals. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Also do MLB power rankings, and update of those power rankings. And coming up 2 weeks from today is the 100th episode of the blog, so get your ideas in for what you want seeing done on the 100th episode. Also follow me on Twitter at YankeeBaller415. Check me out Tuesday night, jbsmooth84.com. I'll be on the podcast with James Bridges and Iceberg, so definitely you want to check that out. I'll post a link up to that as well. Comment on my page, leave me a question, subscribe to me, give me an idea for a topic you want me to do. Thanks for tuning in. We got the NBA draft coming up in just over a month. The NBA playoffs are wrapping up, and NASCAR's getting into its full-blown season. So stay tuned here to Doug Sports Blog and Grill. I'll keep you updated on everything sports, all the good stuff going on, and all the bad. So thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend. See you on Monday.